In this video, we have an opportunity to meet a father-son duo that are running 12 laundromats over the course of 2 states.
Think about it, this is the only business in the world where the customer is the workmanship.
Let's see how they make it happen. All right, in this episode, we're at My Sunny Laundry in Cutler Bay, Florida, with our friends Laurent and Michael Broda. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us, and we're going to have a great chat and a look around the place here. But let's start with a little bit of background. This is kind of the tail of the tape here. What's the size of this store, some of the equipment considerations, and we'll talk about some of the other locations beyond this one.
Yeah, this store is a little more than 4,000 square feet. We have 55 or 56 washers and the same amount of dryers. Most of the equipment is Speed Queen or Ipso.
Primus.
Yeah, Primus in the store, yeah.
Primus.
Well, how long have you been in this location?
10 years.
10 years?
10 years. We bought it in 2015.
Okay.
And the machines, the washers for the most part are less than 3 to 5 years old.
Okay.
We have all types of different weights. We have 20 pounds, 30, 40, 60, 80, 100 to try to accommodate any type of laundry load. And we recently put in new 40-pound Fagor washers at the back of the store.
Yeah, saw those in the back row. That looks great.
Yeah.
And so let's zoom out a little bit. My Sunny Laundry, how many locations, where are they? And just give everybody a sense of size and scope.
Okay, so we have 8 laundromats in the Miami area. We have one in New York and 3 in the Hamptons.
I think we met when you first were looking around to get into the business. So
Yes.
when was the first foray into the industry? And then we'll dive into a little bit more about what brought you to us.
I bought my first laundromat in 2013.
Okay.
I had a friend who showed me a profit and loss of a laundromat, and I said, this is what I want to do, and I can duplicate because my background is duplicating a concept. That's how I got in.
Michael, what did you think when he comes to you and says, well, we're gonna do laundromats? Was that something that was even on your radar?
Well, at the time I was just out of college, so I was focused on an attempt at a career in finance and real estate. And I worked in real estate for about 12 years as a commercial broker initially, and then for a private equity fund. I would say 2 years or a year and a half ago, as I was not necessarily perfectly content with my work situation and looking for other opportunities within real estate, my father came up to me and asked me if I wanted to join the business. And from everything he had always told me about it, it was a very good industry. You know, I'd been sort of employee for a long time, and this was an opportunity for me to you know, be a little bit entrepreneurial. Fortunately for me, not everybody else, I got to start, you know, at the 50-yard line, or maybe closer to the goal line than most people do.
Well, we've got so many great second-generation stories in our industry, and a lot of them do begin with getting experience in other areas and sort of bringing that experience to us. And so Michael's coming to this with his background in finance and some real estate, and you alluded to your background in terms of scaling businesses, so maybe give us a little bit of a itinerary through your career before you found Laundries.
I used to run a retail chain in France, fashion chains, and we grew this business from 0 to 150 stores. I've been doing this for 20 years. Then I retired, stopped working, and when I saw this opportunity in the laundry business, I decided to work again. It's fun. And now, to be able to do it with my son is really a blessing.
Absolutely.
He's smarter than me, he's more educated than me.
Well, what are some lessons that you can take from running a high fashion retail chain in France to a laundromat? That sounds like the most...
Customer is king.
No, that's
Customer is king?
Yeah, that's a business. The same rule applies. No customer, no business. If you are not customer oriented, you haven't understand anything. The people who spend $2,000 somewhere, they're not repeating customers.
Right.
Here you have people that come
every week
or every other week.
Right. I see them all here this morning. They're coming in one by one on a Friday morning, and I'm sure it's the same faces you see every week.
Employees a little bit is important. You know, we try to create a culture of friendliness, cleanliness, and interaction between the employees and the customer, so that the customers come here and the employees, they know the name, they know the person, they can interact. Can I help you with anything? We try to implement that culture at all of our stores where we can have our employees, first of all, be happy themselves to work there, but feel empowered enough to, make the laundry sort of their place to run the show and to, interact with the customers to make sure everybody's happy.
How you have these stores staffed, and then what a day in a life looks like, the two of you in terms of management, the time you're spending, what you're spending your time on, but this looks like these are all fully attended locations?
Yes.
Okay.
Every location is fully attended because we do wash and fold. Most of the locations have a dry cleaning pickup spot. The fact that it's fully attended, for me, is really an advantage for the customer because they have someone to talk to. You can have all the AI customer service in the world. They want to talk to someone.
Right. You've got the operational part to take care of, but you mentioned always having an eye on new locations. So how do you sort of divide that time and attention in terms of potential acquisitions or retools or that part of the business? Because I imagine it's really a combination of operations and growth.
Yep. I would say for the last year, we spent a lot of time, energy, and focus on retools and sharpening our existing operations to make sure that we have the right systems in place and infrastructure in place to allow ourselves to grow without sort of sinking,
Can you give me an example of one of the retool projects where you renovated a store, put new equipment in, and maybe give us a sense of how you size up that investment and maybe what, do the income come from here to go to there, or just kind of maybe a prototypical retool project, maybe walk us through that a little bit.
We bought this laundry in March of 2024 of last year. It had been in operations for a long time, 20, 30 plus years. Machines were old, the store was old, customers knew about it because it's in the heart of the town. And so our approach was, okay, first of all, we're gonna do cosmetic renovation. So how can we get the best bang for our buck from a cosmetic perspective? And number two, it's the equipment that we were going to put in there. In terms of numbers, right? I don't want to throw specific numbers out, but
give us an idea.
Or before we started the retool, in October, let's say we were making X, right? And we finished the retool in February, and I would say April or March, we probably made 40 to 50% higher revenue than we did in the October month.
So when you look at the lease, Michael, like what are some of the kind of parameters or kind of a template you would sort of, your wish list when it comes to engaging in a lease when you come into a new place?
Term.
Yeah.
For starters, we want to make sure that we have enough time to recoup our investment. Options, those that counts in the terms section to make sure that, again, we have enough opportunity at the rent that we like. Sometimes, in 5, 7, 8 years, you can have fair market value options that, if you look at it compared to the existing rent, might jack up your rent 30, 40, 50%, which might impact your return. So terms, obviously, one of the biggest things. Obviously, rent, right? How much does it currently make? Where do we think we can go? And how does the rent compare in that calculus? Obviously, the common area maintenance. Is it a bigger shopping center or shopping mall that we're a part of? Is it standalone? Are we going to have to pay for all these management fees and pay for all these various expenses that we don't necessarily think add any much value to our store, but just result in increased expenses for us?
So what about acquisition targets? So kind of the broad parameters of the lease, but when you're looking at potential acquisition targets, what are some things that you like to see in that first couple of looks at a location or an existing business, things that are attractive to you?
Parking.
The first thing is the parking.
Parking.
So if you don't
can't park, we can't wash.
Having a parking is something very important. One of the most important thing is it's not easy to buy a laundromat today.
Right,
so
right.
It's not,
There's a lot of demand.
You get what you can get.
A lot of
Take what you
demand.
can get.
Yeah, today is really changed since you started in 2013 in terms of trying to.
It was not easy in 2013,
but it's harder now.
It's harder now. Yeah.
But you have better information though. For people who have card systems, coins, it was more difficult to understand.
Yeah, the due diligence can be helped now.
Due diligence is easy with the card system.
Yeah.
What about revenue percentage breakdown? I imagine you have some stores that I don't know. Let's start with the store here. Is this 10 or 20% of revenue from wash, dry, fold?
Yes, 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
15 to 20.
That's what it looked like when I looked at the
Yeah.
stack over here.
Yes.
Do you have some that are a higher percentage of the
yes,
total gross?
in-
Give me an example.
In New York, Now we are 50-50.
50-50 between self-service and...
In the Hamptons, it's very fluctuating because off-season, it's going to be 85% self-service and 15% wash and fold. As per in the season, we're going to go 60 or 65% wash and fold because we also do pressing or things like this. So
it's also a function of the pricing. Because there's very little competition in Sag Harbor or Montauk, we're able to charge per pound pricing that's much higher than we do here, for example.
Right. Let's talk to our newbies here a little bit, some of the rookies that are thinking about getting in. What are a couple pieces of advice based on you going back to 2013, you here focused in the last couple of years? What are some things that they ought to know about getting into this?
I will say, coming from a finance background and a private equity company where, you know, I guess on a resume could appear to be more glorifying, right? It's just be ready to, if that's your background, be ready to, you know, get your hands dirty. And, you know, I'm not very savvy mechanically, but the other day I was, you know, above the washer looking to change a reader or pull the dryer face off with lint everywhere to try to change that reader, right? So be ready to do a little bit of everything.
Your recommendation, eyes wide open, you're going to get your hands dirty.
Correct.
It's hands-on business. What some newbie...
Prepare to work hard.
Prepare to work hard.
Yeah, it's by any means not a absentee or a business.
And also I would say, don't be afraid to try things, right? Like, throw out a promotion, a social media promotion, throw out an Easter promotion. You know, just try different things and see what works.
What does that end counting look? Do you have a sense of so many more stores in 2 years or 5 years? Or kind of what does this future of My Sunny Laundry look like to the two of you?
A lot of people are into roll-up strategies. That's a word you hear a lot. From our perspective, I think we have a great business right now. And if we buy a few more, I think we'd have a really good business that we could both be happy with. But I think our ambitions are a little bit, you know, to try to push the envelope a little bit and see where we can get to, right? So,
it's
can we do 50 in the next 2 years? No,
but yeah,
that's what we're thinking, right? That's what we're thinking. And in 2 years, if we don't have 50, in 2 years, if we have 3 more, right? If we have 4 more, we'll be happy with that, and we'll just keep plugging away at trying to do more and trying to buy more and trying to find the right opportunities.
That's why I love these multi-generational approaches to the business, right? Because you're very invested in the next 10 years of this,
absolutely.
right? All right, well, we're going to continue the conversation, but we're going to take a look around the place here and get a little closer look at My Sunny Laundry.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Got some games here. Ample seating.
Welcome to us, My Sunny Laundry. So we redid the store 6 months ago, hired an architect to redo all the laundromats. It's a famous home architect. He does things fantastic. So this is obviously a laundromat, so you cannot be as creative.
Yeah.
But I like what he's done. So we have changed the color concept
Used
completely.
to be all orange. Now it's now we have a green theme. This is our LaundroWorks card system that we love. The customers like it. We used to be coins. They don't have to put in 100 coins to start a machine anymore. They have a great back end where you can see a lot of data, who has used the machines, how often they use it, what their activity has been, so that, you know, if there's a discrepancy, if someone's telling me, oh, I used this machine 5 times and it depleted my value, you can be, you know, have some backup and data for that. And we have these neon signs across the store so that it can be, you know, very evident as to where people should go.
It's a third-party service. Since we had the card system, it's not really something we need anymore because people are going to use either cash or their card to process the card. Getting cash to pay for the coins is not really necessary anymore.
At this point, it's just an amenity. Sometimes people have a debit card and they want cash. This gives them that option.
Yeah.
I would say these dryers are not designated for wash and fold, but they're more often used for wash and folds, slightly bigger, closer to the counter so that they can look after them. Similar to the bigger washers, have bigger dryers as well.
We have 25 pounders, 20 pound, 25,
60.
60, 60, 35,
Little bit
and
of
40,
everything.
a little bit of everything on most of the end, the big washers to complement families.
We love to have, you'll see, I don't know if you've noticed, but green signs everywhere, instructing people, telling them what to do, or just making all of our policies clear so that there's no confusion. Free Wi-Fi, no smoking, don't put your shoes in the dryer, take all your change out of your pockets. That's all stuff that's just plastered through the store to remind people of certain things. So we have these QR codes in each of our machines at each of our stores. This gives them a decent amount of flexibility, allows them to leave a review, allows them to join our rewards program, allows them to check their balance on their card, allows them to get to the screen where they can start machines through their phone.
We have an AI customer service.
So if they have a question, if they scan that, they can ask a question when you guys close or anything that they might have.
Most of our stores have double aisles like this. On the back end, we have dryers. It's a lot easier for the customer to manage their laundry, and they go from any place in the laundromat. Where they have a washer, they have a dryer that is close to them, so it makes their life a little bit easier. Here we arrive at the last row with our new machines. We just changed those machines last month. We're using a very high technology machine to help the customer have a better laundry experience. So we have also a snack and vending center that allows the customer that is here for 45 minutes to
Have a snack
or things like this.
How do you take care of the repairs and maintenance?
So we have 2 handymans for 8 laundromats in Miami.
Okay.
And we have one for 3 laundromats in the Hamptons.
Okay.
So
And those are employees or
they're
contractors?
employees, yeah, no, they're all in the house. We pride ourselves to have good maintenance service. It's not always perfect because in Miami we have 800 machines, so it's difficult to have 800 machines up and running at the same time.
As you were growing, how did you calibrate like when you needed to put somebody on full time for repairs? Because that's a question that comes up a lot. I hear a lot of, well, you get to 4, 5, or 6 stores and you need to really start thinking about putting someone on full time. What was your approach, or like how many stores can one full-time repair person take care of?
This is a question of numbers.
Right, okay.
If you have a external contractor, he's going to charge you between 80 and 100 and something dollars an hour, while you're going to pay a lot less for your own employee.
Right.
So it's really a question of number.
It's also a question of the age of your machines. Yeah, if you have multiple and you have older types of machines, then that's when you start running the numbers and determining what option you like better.
Yes, but there's not only the maintenance of the machines. You have to change the filters. You have to change the lights. Yeah. There's always something that is not working. You have to take care of the restrooms.
That's the facilities management part of the business that doesn't get enough attention, right? Because you need to keep machines running, yes, but the rest of the facility
and have procedures in place,
to make that happen. So what about, you've talked a little bit about some of the promotions and marketing things you've done. I really love your branding for My Sunny Laundry. So is that something that you've all taken on yourselves, or have you gotten outside help, or how have you made the marketing happen for the business?
Here in the laundromat, there's only one thing. It's only managing a store. You don't need to allocate a lot of time, but it's an easier business. And the most beautiful thing, this is the only business in the world where the customer is the workmanship.
What is the brand promise of My Sunny Laundry? Like what is that
We
logo
love-
mean to you? What are you trying to get across?
We love your dirty laundry.
We love your dirty laundry.
Yes.
Okay, Loren, when you first started researching the business and got into it, that's where you and I first crossed paths at a CLA event, and you became a member of our association early on. And I'm wondering if I could ask you to just talk a little bit about the value of having an association that's focused on the business and how you've taken advantage of it over the years.
It means everything, because when you don't know anything about the business, it's so comforting to be able to talk to people who know about the business, to be on the forum and ask questions, to have people answering without any agenda. So just willing to help. So that's, I think this is really a must for any laundry manager or laundry owner.
Well, you've contributed to that community quite a lot yourself, because you've attended events and you've shared what you've learned with other people. So it goes full circle.
Yes, you always have to give back to the community. It's normal.
Yeah, well, speaking of giving back to the community, you know that I've got a deep affection for our Laundry Cares Foundation that we're so fortunate to have founded years ago, where we engage with laundromats and provide free laundry and literacy days. We build out many library spaces. We donate books, and you've been a real advocate for that foundation, and you've hosted some events yourself.
Yes, we hosted 2 events a few years ago, and we'd like to do it again because
If you'll have us.
Yeah,
Absolutely, we
no,
will.
it's very important it's important to give back to the community. When we did those 2 days of free laundry days, when you saw these people coming with 150 pounds of laundry, and they would not believe it was going to be free. We processed 25,000 pounds of laundry in 2 locations that day, which is
amazing.
It's amazing, and
yeah.
the people
So generous
happy.
of you, and it means a lot to the customers. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
it's an
yes.
expression of care, and that's what we're trying to do as an industry is, frankly, update our reputation as a business, that we are caring of the community, that we are wanting to give back. And so we appreciate that you've been part of it, and absolutely we'll have you back for another event.
Absolutely, we'd love to do that.
Yeah.
So Michael, what's been your
So-
experience with Laundry Cares?
So I started working with my dad in June, and before I had formally joined him, I went to Laundry Cares, a CLA event in Palm Beach, and that was my first introduction to everybody in the laundry, not everybody, but a lot of people in the industry, and there's a real sense of community there, and people are much more helpful and open about their secrets. About, not everybody tells you everything, but anybody, you go and you can talk to anybody, and somebody will give you the time of day. And if somebody's speaking and you go after the fact and you ask them a specific question, they'll give you time of day and they'll talk to you and they'll give you their experience. And that was really refreshing to be a part of, where
It's not like that in every industry.
not at all, not at all. And that first experience was, to me, very, comforting, because he used the word comforting earlier. It was comforting because I'm like, okay, there's a lot of nice people here. Everybody wants other people to succeed, right? If you're doing well, somebody's going to be happy about it. They're not going to be like, oh, how can I take his business? Or how can I buy his laundry for cheap? Just a great community, and that was a really great event that I attended over a year ago or 9 months ago in June.
Outstanding. Well,
And-
that's what CLA and Laundry Cares are all about.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to one of our esteemed employees. Jenny has been with us for a very long time. Her mother is still with us, working with us, but was working here, for years. And Jenny's always been coming here, and now she works with us, and she's the manager of the store here in Cutler Bay. This is Jenny, and she has been here for a long time, and she, I think likes it.
I know I do love it. This is like my second home. The customers here are like my family. I've known them for over 10 years. I love my new owner. But yeah, I love coming here. I don't hate it. If they have a problem, I come even if I don't get paid. But I have no issues here. This is a safe place. I have no complaints. My responsibility here, make sure that the machines are up and going, make sure the cash is flowing good. My customers are happy. If any customers have any issues, they could call me on my personal phone, store phone, owner, whatever they need.
She's always there.
She's
down
always
the street,
available.
one phone call away.
Yeah. The first time you came here, you were...
I was 17 years old.
And you were working, or you were...
No, the store wasn't up yet. We were in construction when the store was getting built. I came and helped. I cleaned up before it opened. I was the sign girl, grand opening on the corner of US 1.
And your mom worked here, right?
Yes, with my mom.
Sheila, yeah. Sheila's our general manager at our stores.
When they opened, I did leave, and I moved to New York, and I came back here. Ever since I came back in 2009, I've been here as an employee.
Yeah.
No regrets.
That's great.
Well, that was just a wonderful visit with a couple of really nice guys that are making things happen in the laundromat business. Michael and Laurent Broda at My Sunny Laundry. We heard about their father and son duo. We heard about Loren coming out of the fashion industry into laundromats. We heard about Michael coming from private equity and finance into the laundromat business. It's incredible the backgrounds that our laundromat owners have. I hope you learned a lot. I did too. We'll see you next time. For more information about the laundromat industry, be sure to visit laundryassociation.org and see all the resources we have to offer.